Would you like to do the honors?
Guys, this is the finals of the Go for StarCraft Monday Premium Cup. This could be the last game. We'll see if our player can close it out. Spawning in the lower left corner of the map, currently leading 2-0 in this best of 5. One game from victory. It's Dignitas' Tefel.
And his opponent, up in the top right-hand position, the blue Protoss player, it is Puzzle.
Big shout out to my co-caster today, by the way, guys. I know I was solo casting a lot of this. Whether I'm joining him or he's joining me, depending on your point of view. I'm here today with Madals. I'm Rifkin. And this has been a very strange final series. Not just game, but final series so far.
Puzzle's been trying to throw out some odd stuff. Now, one thing we didn't really touch on, Riff, in the previous game, but I think it's worth mentioning, is we had to regame Map 2 because Puzzle was having some lag issues. And even if they have cleared up a bit, he may still be having some slight delay, which is something that he will probably be used to, and he's used to adjusting for. But when you're playing against someone of Tefel's caliber, you never want to have a disadvantage like that. So, I'm not saying that's what's causing it, but it could be an issue.
You bring up a good point with that, though, because, I mean, reality is, even on a perfect day, it's still Korea to Europe. Puzzle is Korean, guys. He lives in Korea. So, even on your best circumstance, you're still dealing with a little bit of lag. And that actually starts making a little more sense why he's sticking with the Century Immortal pushes, because, let's be honest, that's not exactly the most micro-intensive push in the game.
Hit some good force fields, and it should work, but Puzzle switching up this game, not going for the gate expand, instead just Nexus first.
This is actually, we're talking about whether Tefel will go with cheese, and he didn't, of course, but this actually would have been a good opportunity to go for some cheese. Throw down that 10 pool against the Nexus first. Puzzle's dead. Just GG.
Tefel just opening the same way as that he does anyway, but I think it's Puzzle just being quite smart, expecting Tefel not to cheese, because I don't think I've ever seen Tefel go for a really early pull cheese.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about before. Like, when Tefel cheeses, he does it with, the Roach all-ins. Like, oh, God. Is he really going to counter rush? Tefel's going to see this. Yeah. Not going to happen here, Puzzle. A for effort, but just cancel that pylon now. Save yourself the heartache.
It's actually pretty good. Like, you want to cancel at the last second, because then you waste more mining time with these drones. But, in some... Is he going to... Okay, he does cancel. I panicked for a second, though.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't going to cancel it either. I mean, it's kind of a cool move if you can get it done. But, I mean, at this point, you got to realize, Tefel knows how to deal with cannon rushes. This isn't a problem.
There's also the benefit, though, for Puzzle, that Tefel scouted it immediately. Because then there was only that cannon. So, effectively, all that was lost was 25 resources in the probe. So, 75 minerals in total. Not an investment. Imagine if the pylon had finished and the cannon was just started. Then you've already lost 100 minerals from that. And it's a big investment from Puzzle early on. So getting his guide earlier, rather than kind of at the critical moment, is probably quite good for Puzzle, in a strange sort of way.
100% agree. I mean, it's weird to consider that being a good thing, but it is. 2 Lings can try and sneak past this cannon, but if he tries to go up that ramp, only 1 Ling's going to make it through, if anything. But he can camp the natural mineral line, so looks like a couple probes may just go down here.
Getting a probe with 3 Lings is pretty good going.
It's a good start, but I mean, it's not the end of the world for Puzzle by any means. He could actually probably fight these Lings with his 5 probes, or at least take one of them down. But
he would wing if he microed them.
Exactly. This isn't 6 Lings in his mineral line. He's just bleeding out probes unnecessarily.
They're actually stopping a lot of mining.
Yeah, they're just kind of congregating here. Meet you guys in the quad after class.
One of them is a manager, just trying to come up with a plan on how to solve this. The other 4 are sitting there being like, we don't want to fight him. Not doing it. Wait for the Zealot.
I would have loved if he held those Lings in place. Actually gets quite a few probes for this. A total of 4 for those 3 Lings. Well, I guess 4 Lings because 1 died to the cannon, but still, not bad.
+1 is coming down, of course, for Puzzle as well. Back at Tefel's base, he's getting up a 3rd, taking his 2 gas at about 45-ish supply, which is so normal. And, yeah, I'd say this is looking pretty good for Tefel at the moment. He's not getting a massive lead, but 4 probes for 4 Lings is an incredibly good trade.
Now, as far as what Tefel can do off of 3 bases, this sounds like such a bad answer, but literally anything he wants if this base gets up and uncontested. For Puzzle, through his mind right now with that +1 timing, he's got to apply pressure to it. Whether it's 5 Zealots, whether it's 7 Zealots, he needs to knock Tefel down that peg. Because it's not about keeping the game on an even balance at this point, but it's keeping Tefel from getting ahead.
I'm really interested to see what Tefel's going to do, because he hasn't gone for his usual handful of Lings. generally speaking, at around this point, or generally actually around kind of the 40-ish drone mark, he'll grab out 8 lings or so for map control to make sure proxy pylons and stuff don't go down. But instead, he's just droning really heavily, clearly feeling very confident.
Well, a big part of that too is like he skipped past metabolic boost entirely. Like it's on the way now, but he skipped past it to get the roach worn out a little bit quicker to ensure that he'll be able to make these roaches if necessary. Which, let's be honest, are going to be more important than any amount of metabolic boost. Because when you're dealing with zealots early on, +1 without +1, it doesn't matter. Zerglings are usually not the answer.
So we've got a lot of gateways coming down from Puzzle at the moment. He's adding in an additional 7 gates.
That's 8 gates. I'm not a fan of 8 gates, to be honest. Like I think 7 gates is where you really need to be. 8's nice if your macro is going to slip behind it, but going for the Sentry Immortal again, Madals, I'm not in love with this choice. Layers finishing up. Hydras don't be thrown down immediately. I would imagine, at least.
It's a fractionally different build, just because he's got so many gateways in with this, but the Hydra getting started, the fact that Tefel should be able to see something up. I believe he saw some of those sentries already. Doesn't actually hold the watchtower though, which is interesting, but he's still going to have plenty of time to get this Hydra finished, and should actually get Hydras joining the fight by the time this push comes. When we factor in that there isn't actually a pylon, and therefore we're probably going to have to wait for a Warp Prism to come out of the Robo before Puzzle feels secure enough to engage.
And what's key too is like, the difference is if you don't have Hydras, you have to force out this force field. You have to bait them out before they get to your base. But he can put Hydras on the high ground, and he can shoot the sentries on the low ground, even without that groove spine. So the DPS will be here, the numbers will be here. He's got to wait for that pylon to complete. There's going to be 12 Hydras waiting for him, Madals. This is not looking good for Puzzle.
Tefel loses an Overlord, but he sees everything that's coming. He's got a really solid grasp on what his opponent's doing.
Whoa, oh gosh. Dude, he's got no Mothership Core.
I know,
There's no chance for recall, there's no high ground vision. This is a very dangerous choke to attack into.
I'm surprised Tefel didn't actually leave a couple of Hydras up on the high ground. He did have the units positioned up there.
Yeah, he's got 1 or 2 of them now. But alright, starting with the force fields. Nothing too crazy. These units on the low ground are going to have to go all the way around and come in from behind if they want to get involved from the third base, because these are absolutely going to get locked out. I mean, he's got the rocks down over there, but I mean, you don't want to be having your entire army funneled behind the same force field. You have to split it up a bit.
Tefel going in now, he's got some Hydras up on that high ground. Ling's tearing through a lot of the army, but it's the Hydralist. It's an amazing concave there, dealing so much damage.
He needs to take that Warp Prism out. This is like all the reinforcements coming directly on top of him with these Zealots now shredding them, but good game's going to be called either way. Tefel will take it 3-0 in the end.
And that means Tefel wins 50 euros and a spot in the monthly finals now, whereas Puzzle just wins the 25 euros.